Hello friends. Welcome back. I've returned. 2-day streak. Returned for the WIP Wednesday. You love to see it. I have no idea what I'm doing today. I'm gonna put that up front. I already put that up front because that's the title of the stream. But I'm gonna put that up front because there's probably going to be dillying and dallying for this stream. But first, you gotta see my little man. WIP Wednesday. Well, not on Twitch. Maybe on a different streaming site, but probably not on Twitch. Look at this little man. Look at this little man. That's my guy. My big cheese. My good time boy. He's my favorite. He's part of the DLC that dropped like a month ago. God, was it a month ago? The kitchen DLC? I don't remember if I streamed it or not. But he's my favorite. He comes with me everywhere. I put him in my little pocket. The tiny pockets of these tiny shorts that we're wearing, I guess. Or probably more realistically, the kangaroo pocket on the hoodie. We got the vibes. We got the spooky music. I did have there was like a spring music playlist that I had. They have a bunch of different playlists in the game. And I was doing this springtime awakening thing. But the room looks like this. So we're doing spooky vibes. Because I think it just fits better. Excellent. Hope everybody's having a great day. My day's been pretty chill. Spent half of my day trying to figure out what I'm gonna do for this stream. And the other half was walking the dog, probably. In a literal sense, not a metaphorical sense. Mikey's been very needy today. Yeah, like right before, like 15 minutes before stream. Brittany goes, "Babe, can you help me?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course, with what?" And she rounds the corner and she's holding Mikey in her arms and there's ranch dressing on her back and on her face. And I'm like, oh no. The poor scrung, she was in the splash zone. We got that all taken care of though, she's fine. I have such a problem with this setting. And the problem is I want to do everything all the time. And I really just need to settle. But I won't, because it's mine. And you can't tell me what to do with it, honestly. If you're not paying me for it, you can't tell me what to do with it. That's the motto. What's the... There's a more succinct way that I think I saw on a TikTok that said it, but I'm not gonna remember the full thing. No, I do remember the full thing. The full thing, I believe, is if you're not funding me, feeding me, or fucking me, your opinion doesn't matter. So at this point, I'm the final say. Well, I'm one of two of the final say. Though, you've never been able to successfully stop me from doing anything before. Case in point. I had a devious idea earlier today.
The problem is, it's a good idea. It's a good, bad idea.
Yes, the problem is.
So I'm...
The idea is that I do pose a direct danger to the Blorbos. But putting the Blorbos in danger is what we're here for. So you haven't stopped me, and I don't think you ever will.
I feel like I've stopped.
Potentially?
Remember we were talking about this with Midsommar. I was like,
That's
I'm
true.
about this scene, but you're not allowed to do it to Ezra.
That's right. I have not put Ezra in a Blood Eagle yet. I
You're
did.
not going to
I
put
did.
him
That
in
is
a
true.
Blood Eagle
I will
because
not.
You promised me.
I will not. I did threaten that alternate universe with diamonds though. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is close. And arguably worse.
Yeah. Arguably.
You think
can argue about
you
it.
think removing the back of your rib cage and exposing your lungs while you're still alive is the worst thing I can do to a character. Oh boy, you are sorely incorrect.
I hate that you're right. I hate that I know that you're right.
You know I'm right. I'm one of those people. I'm one of those writers who I laugh at the people who get mad. Not the people who get mad that a character has died in a franchise. That's a little bit different. But like people who are like, you know, some people think that death is the worst thing that can happen to your Blorbo. And from like a sadistic level and also like I'm also a writer level, that's primally not the case. Because obviously there are worse things that I can do to your character in a fictional sense. There are worse traumas to be had than simply dying. But also in like a realistic like consumer of media sense, a lot of people don't like when a character dies because it's like the end of their storyline, right? Any like plot lines that are related to them or relationships that they had with the other characters abruptly ends when a character dies. Unless you're most comic book characters or hit TV show Supernatural and not a woman. And that's a reasonable concern to have. It's always upsetting when like you don't see the rest of a character's story. But as someone who has consumed a lot of media, your characters can always be written worse. Your characters can always be written off in a worse way. And I think a lot of people understand that. A lot of people understand that there are worse things with death. In a post Game of Thrones media era, I think there's a lot of people who understand that there are worse things that can happen to a character than just dying in terms of like a character assassination sense. But it's always funny to me when like it's true and I hate it. I know it's true. I know you know it's true. You know it's true more than I know it's true because you watched and read that series. I just think it's funny when like quote unquote normies are all concerned about their characters dying and I'm like oh honey, I promise you there's worse. Do not cite the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written. I was gonna say speaking of fates worse than death, but they died in that series, right? It wasn't that like the worst ending?
Yeah.
Good? Don't die.
Try. Yeah, no, they die at the cusp of a
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I do remember you telling me about that. I never read Chronicles of Narnia as a kid / teen. What did I read as a kid / teen? I was a Demonata, Cirque du Freak, Pendragon, I did, fortunately or unfortunately, for better or worse, read Harry Potter as a teen. I was never a Chronicles of Narnia person, but I did watch most of the movies that came out, like the modern adaptations, because they did The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and they did Prince Caspian. Did they do a third Chronicles of Narnia movie?
Yeah.
Was it script? Oh, that's wild. I have watched all of the Lord of the Rings movies. I have not read the Lord of the Rings books. I have purchased the Lord of the Rings books a couple of different times on a couple of different platforms. And yeah, I know. I know I am. But you gotta understand. Pleb affection, it is so good. You gotta understand. I can't. The man's so long-winded. And so am I to some extent. But I don't think. Okay. It's not that it couldn't be Tolkien style long-winded. I just think I would put myself to sleep if I were Tolkien style long-winded. Though I do love rambling about things that are negligible to the plot. If he wants to talk about a hobbit walking for 40 pages, let him. He defined a genre. That is true. I saw a video a while ago talking about how Tolkien's arachnophobia played like an intricate role in like modern like fantasy settings and also like fantasy horror with like everybody's obsession with like huge spiders and stuff. And it was like specifically because of like the Lord of the Rings, which is fair. I mean, huge spiders are creepy, but it's wild to think that Tolkien did it first and that there wasn't just, I don't know. I feel like fear of spiders is like such a primal thing at this point that it had to have been done sooner, but maybe not. Or perhaps maybe just not in fantasy, you know? Spiders have a bad rap now, but like so do sharks, and that was Jaws' fault for the most part, you know? The way fiction defines our reality is truly wild to me sometimes. Like the after effects of like Disney movies, where there was a whole scourge of people buying Dalmatians after 101 Dalmatians, and people buying tropical saltwater fish after Finding Nemo. It's wild. It's a wild effect. My favorite bit is there's this random part from the POV of an actual fox that walks by. The hobbits while they're camping before they make it to the ferry. Oh, that is fun. I like an esoteric, not necessarily like third person POV. I do like a third person POV, but like a point of view of a force outside of the main characters is always fun. Like if you were to go into like an NPC at the market while the adventurers are traipsing by and be like, oh my god, that's those guys. They killed that huge spider. I was terrorizing the countryside. It's always interesting to get like the world's view of what's happening. Only if you're good at writing NPCs and or foxes that are interesting enough. Look, it's Lord of the Rings. That fox could have been a guy. I don't know. They got crazy shit. Also read those books when I was under 10. The fact that the tiny blurb about the foxes stuck with me is a testament. Honestly, very valid. Yeah. Could have been Radagast the Brown. That's what I'm saying. I haven't even read the books, and I knew it could have been a guy. Tom Bombadil, I know he would love to be a fox for a day. He's the free agent of chaos that I know of, Tom Bombadil. He would definitely be a fox for a day. Maybe two. Not too long though, because he loves his wife. That's true. That's fair. She is a river. God. I love fucked up little fantasy things. I love when you could say a sentence like that. And it's like real and true. I should read Lord of the Rings. You know how we love rivers in this house. Right, babe? If I say enough things that have traumatized our characters, eventually my girlfriend will stop talking to me. I love you. No, my goodness. Perhaps this is just a wax poetic about fiction kind of day. Perhaps if I wax poetic enough about other people's fiction, it'll inspire me to write about my own fiction. I should certainly have a, I'm gonna do it's like a notes file. Actually, no, we can do the notes. This note. We'll put the notes up. That's usable. Honestly, maybe I'll fucking read it to you. You certainly could. We could start doing that. Oh, his Dark Materials? I have gotten you started on his Dark Materials before.
Yeah. Don't.
don't do it now.
Just do that.
You want to just do that for 3 hours? We could. We could. My setting has a lot of, well, not a lot of. Specifically, there's like a type of bloodline magic that can give you like an animal spirit companion sort of thing. And Brittany knows about this because it's one of our Blorbos has it. And she's gone off a couple of times about that series and how good and also awful it is. Yeah. It's a good time. Oh yeah, with Lin-Manuel Miranda?
Well, he won't be in it.
Well, fair. The show that had Lin-Manuel Miranda in it?
Yes. Yeah. I gotta say,
I didn't watch that one.
he did
I'm glad he did a great job. Good for him.
good. Sam Elliott was better.
Sure.
Companions,
His Dark Materials has it all.
Anti-religion, angels, ungendered beings that I don't even know.
You'll love to see it.
Multiple worlds, multiverse, specters and ghosts and fucking wraiths and shit. A knife that can cut through worlds.
Wonderful.
A giant polar bear wearing armor.
Yes.
And also he tears another bear's skull apart.
Love that.
And he's the king of the polar bears. And,
love that.
Also little tiny insect people. And
fun.
That are like. And
of course they are.
No, war.
You know, war.
It's got everything. It's very good.
I believe it. Always sounds good the way you talk about it.
It also's got love.
Of course. You gotta have a little love as a treat.
Yeah, okay. Weird ass elephant. What?
Oh yeah, that was an actually question, wasn't it? Yeah. Weird ass elephant creatures.
So good.
To be fair, elephants are pretty weird.
Lots of.
Oh yeah. We love a fantasy name. Love a good fantasy name. Honestly,
Heartbreak.
heartbreak. If it's got love, it's gotta have heartbreak. Pretty much all the time.
Um. An orphan who's not actually an orphan. History about parents.
Mm-hmm.
Unrequited love.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's got everything, babe. Witches.
Yes. Oh, I've got witches in my setting too. I gotta find a better way to incorporate
types
them.
Of demons that are like, you know, like generally speaking, people who are like, you know, like I want to say blue collar, but that I don't know. The people who are like, you know, on the ground, like
Sure.
workers.
Yeah.
Who are like actually doing and stuff like that. Like a lot of them, most of them, they're demons dog.
Oh sure. Yes.
Right? And like witches, their demons always can fly. They're always
Interesting.
Because
okay.
witches can indeed fly, and their demons need to be able to do.
Yeah, it's important for them to be able to keep up.
Yeah. There's like.
Mm-hmm. Society.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Very good.
We love a good fantasy name. Honestly, I'm so glad I came up with my bananagram technique because fantasy names used to be such a pain in the ass and I'd have to use a million different like generators and whatever. And now I just consult the tiles like a real witch. And I think that's fun and funky. Got those tiles here somewhere. We don't need them yet, but if I do need them, I think they're in one of these many desk drawers that I have. Fun and funky fresh. Weepy beepy. I love the spooky melodies. It's such a vibe. I don't want to work on anything too like mechanically heavy for like a WIP Wednesday, because I get into the weeds about some of these things. Don't ask about the calendar. I need a more organic thing to work on. Or the deities. Or the cults. Certainly don't ask about the mountains. The mountains that may or may not exist. See, this is what I'm talking about. You could go on. I know you could. I don't want to spoil anything. That's true. I suffer greatly. I'm so glad I have at least like one person to kind of talk about this to. But even then, like, there's some things I don't want to spoil for my girlfriend as well. So sometimes I just have to keep it all right here. And then I die. I can't talk about it with anybody. Oh my goodness. My freaking nose, man. Maybe it is dusty in here. Maybe that's why you've been sneezing all day.
It also could be the pollen.
Yeah. It is getting kind of nice out, so pollen's starting to be a problem. Excuse me. That's why my main character is a conspiracy theorist. I love your conspiracy theorist character so much. I hope we get to play that campaign again sometime. Maybe if I can get my own shit together at some point. But we'll have to see. I've been thinking a lot about Ezra recently. We can kind of plot Ezra out a little bit. Why didn't I make Wolfsbane a character? I mean, I know why. Oh, that's so strange. I have everybody marked. I didn't make him his own character. No, I didn't give him a different name. It's just in Obsidian, you can like create individual pages and then like connect them in various ways. And I have a page for each of like the characters that I've plotted out so far, which are characters relevant to Ezra's backstory. And I don't have a page for Wolfsbane. Like, not even a, like, this page hasn't been created yet kind of page. Flash that web, baby. Please, no. The web is such a mess. I could give him his own page. Because he is sort of his own character, but also it's sort of just Ezra. So I don't think I'm gonna worry about it right now. This is probably why he isn't on there yet. You had this exact thought in combo before? Probably. But like, Viathan has his own page. If I gave Viathan his own page, I feel like I have to give Wolfsbane his own page, or else they'll fight. Presidential alert, the girls are fighting! They bicker like brothers, is my headcanon. Is my headcanon. They're my original characters from my original setting. Doesn't it track? Wolfsbane has big little brother energy. And Viathan has big, exhausted oldest brother energy. Viathan is too tired for anybody's shit, except for Cricket, probably. The only ounce of patience he has left is for Cricket. Cricket! I cry. She's a cutie patootie. Ooh. She is. Legally, the cutest. The cutest patootist. I do need to... I mean, there's a lot of stuff I need to do. I need to stop being a person who needs to do things. What do we want to work on? Ezra, obviously. Let's put that out. Put that out. Let's see. Let's see how much of this guy's story I can remember. I'm gonna need his family on here at some point, but I'm not gonna worry about them yet. Ooh. House staff. Disguised house staff. Kidnapping the kid. I enjoy that. I don't know how else you would get in past the everything happening at that house, honestly. Unless you were either a good person, which Phoenix is not, or you had a really good disguise, which he probably does. Yeah, I feel that might be correct. Because originally, because we had a plot line that Ezra was sick, and I thought maybe the original guy was like a part of that, like coming in to try to like heal him, and then got away with him. But I also don't remember. Either way, this fills kind of both of those gaps. So, I'm not necessarily worried about it. Oh, he's Ravi's tutor. This makes sense. That makes sense. We'll just plop Phoenix into that position. He'll do fine. Baby Acer came along and was like, oh, that's so much easier. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I imagine Child Rafi was a very good kid, very perceptive and intuitive, and as such, Phoenix fucking hates him. Probably, yeah. Ravi certainly seems like a guy who at no point in time would ever like submit to being in a cult, and I'm sure Phoenix could clock that. And I'm sure he didn't enjoy his time with him as a result. Ravi's got too strong a head on his shoulders, I think.
Ravi's kind of guy.
The kind of guy who like wouldn't fall for a cult, you know?
Yes.
Like he's got too strong a head on his shoulders.
Yes.
To like fall for cult behavior, and I'm sure Phoenix could clock that, and I'm sure it made like the rest of their time together awful because of that.
Yeah. Also, I don't know what media it is, but there's a thing where it's like there's somebody who's in like a teacher tutor type like position with like some precocious kid, and they're trying to get something from the parents or whatever.
Sure.
And the kid is that type, and the kid is like, excuse me, mister, don't you mean such and such?
Yeah.
And the guy looks at him like, and is like, thank you for reminding me. And then he turns around and you see him go, you know, like rolling his eyes like.
I'm sure that's happened a couple of times. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the vibe that they give me.
Big
just like a
teacher, you forgot to collect the homework vibes.
Yeah. Except the teacher is like, fuck off.
I don't wanna grade the homework. Yeah. Ravi.
Yeah. The teacher, you didn't give them the hall pass, the hall monitors, yell at you, and won't. To me, in a way that similar to some of the times that
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Big Annie vibes, absolutely.
Like,
just like having no filter.
I'm 5.
God.
He's just so mad.
She's a little spitfire.
I love her.
Oh my god. Now, why would Phoenix do this? Not this in specifically, but this in terms of how did the Ian Lees get the baby? Mostly in terms of, does this make one of the parental Ian Lees a cultist? Or are they just like in the... Yeah. Does this also, more broadly speaking, with like other connections we made in the past, does this make one or more of the Roshan Bears cultists?
I actually, when you said the Ian, I was imagining Roshan.
No,
because I forgot about
yes.
thing, but I think Roshan Bears, no.
Probably not.
Inleys, yes, but in a not my child position. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Agreeing to take Ezra as long as they don't take one of their kids.
That whole conversation that happened. Clubs thing when Bramble is like begging the other druids, like, why are you letting this happen?
Yeah.
You know, she's just a child, blah, 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 blah. And they're essentially like, not our child.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
we're letting it happen to these children because they're not our children.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that sort of, like, they work for the cult and have worked for the cult for a long time. When they started having children, they were already in power.
So they're like
They knew that.
cult foster family?
I was imagining they're like somehow, like, obviously the cult needs a lot of stuff
Sure.
to work, right?
Cult sponsor.
And yeah, well, like, you gotta have like some legitimate, like, actual places to
Sure.
get things or
Places
whatever,
and
so that
people
you're not,
on the outside.
yeah, so that you're not immediately like raided. It's no, the idea
There's
of,
gotta
like,
be middlemen.
yeah,
Okay.
like very, but they strike me as like very rich
Yes.
middlemen that are privileged and
Yeah.
whatever it is.
They're rich. They're not as rich as like the Heelys and the
Of
Roshan
course.
Bears, which I think
yeah.
is why they turn to cult activity to like pad their shit out.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I imagine it's like something like, and this could just be the vibes of the story that we're ready. But I imagine Mom, who is dad,
Yes,
is just sort of,
absolutely.
like, going along.
Yes,
He's
absolutely.
really, you know, blah blah blah.
Dad's a pushover.
Yeah. Bad. But,
Yeah. Well, also, as we've potentially discussed, the cult is very like matriarch
Right.
forward, so it would potentially make sense for her to be more into it than he is.
right. So,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe she has a job like with the city, and she effectively makes all of the missing children posters here from the like art. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that people aren't like, hey, why are there fucking?
Or even worse, she's like a person who like lobbies the city to like take stuff like that down after a certain period of time.
Right.
Or whatever.
Right.
To have less litter.
Right.
God, what a bitch.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor. these posters for these missing and potentially dead children are blocking my view.
Ooh. Or she could run an orphanage.
God,
Thing.
that would be awful.
Not an orphanage. She's like high up rank of a like not an orphanage.
I'm imagining
but
her as like
those,
a PTA mom, but like
yeah.
with more money.
Yes. That was the vibe I was getting.
Yeah.
Yes. But I was trying to think. Definitely. Her whole thing, like, first of all, sure, the list, the cult is.
Right.
But also,
You gotta have ears on the ground.
she's the kind of person. Got to, like, hey, that kid over there. Nobody fucking.
Yeah, this kid's been in the system for a while.
Yeah.
I can make sure their papers are lost for you.
Like, oh, you're looking for this? My kid has this classmate who, honestly, the teacher remember.
God.
So, if he stops coming
Yeah.
to school, I'm totally fine.
Awful.
Sorry.
No, please. This is perfect.
I have not thought about your thoughts about your writing.
Should you?
Yeah. It's fucking good, babe. They're elves, right?
Yes.
Their youngest just aged out of school.
They
need a child to be school age so that she can stay there and stuff. And so when Phoenix comes through and is like, "Hey, I'm dying."
Hold on to this kid.
She's like, "Actually, no, don't come back for him until he's ready."
Well, that's true. And he doesn't stay with them long enough to be 18.
Right.
So.
But then that gives her a reason to take him in and not give him back to the cult or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's helping her further her job.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because her children, unlike the Cullens, they're able to keep going to high school forever.
They do age.
Yes. Yeah.
I have such a beef with the way that fantasy does that sort of thing. Not necessarily with the Cullens, because vampires are, like, extraneously special.
Yeah.
But the way, like, when you read D&D 5th edition, and the book is like, humans live to be... I don't even remember what it says. 80 to 100? Yeah. And then elves can live to be like several hundred years old. And like dwarves and halflings, I think, get like 120, like hundreds years old.
Dwarves are like half of
yeah.
elves.
Yeah.
Halflings and gnomes are like a couple hundred.
But they still live a long
are-
time.
Halflings are more like half elves.
And then you get to like extra weirder races, and I'm pretty sure in rules as written, Aarakocra don't age past 20 years old.
Yeah. Or like
yeah. And I think that's wild. That's a wild, like... And trust me, I'm a person who loves the drama. But... that's such a short... Aarakocra specifically has always rubbed me the wrong way, because Aarakocra is the only race that is done like that. I think even goblins get like 60 years. Like...
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, and kobolds get something crazy like a year. I don't know.
Yeah, kobolds are also wild, but like... Hold on. Now I've got
to like orcs and bugbears are shafted. They get like 6 years
yeah.
or something, just like goblins. Crazy.
No, kobolds can live up to 120 years.
Okay, never mind. I think I'm
But here's my secondary issue with the way that these systems lay out ages. Because with elves, they live a fuck-ass long time. And they reach adulthood at 100 years old. And nobody can ever agree on what that means.
right.
And inversely, as I'm looking at this entry for kobolds, the sentence is, kobolds reach adulthood at age 6 and can live up to 120 years, but rarely do so. Hey, Wizards of the Coast, what does that mean? Like, I'm sure what they want it to mean for kobolds is in more of an animalistic way.
Yeah.
They will reach sexual maturity at 6 years old.
Yeah.
And be able to, you know, further the production of kobolds. But you can't take that in the other direction for the most part. Because then does that mean that anyone dating an elf under 100 years old is a pedophile? Do elves look like children for the first 20 years of their life? Do they physically age that slow?
I mean, they can't, right? Because Astarion was a canonical character.
That's what I'm saying.
His canonical elf was 39 years old. Already had a job as a magistrate.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know any fucking 8-year-olds who are getting jobs as magistrates.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
but like,
sorry.
It's okay. The way they want it to work for elves is it's like a ceremonial thing, a ceremonial coming of age.
Sure.
I believe, where for the first 100 years of their life, they age at a similar rate to humans, I believe, until they reach like adult-looking age. You know, like you're 18 to 20. And their first, like, 100 years of life, I believe, is supposed to be like a go out and find yourself sort of thing. And then when they reach 100 years old, they, like, come back and they have a whole ceremony about it. They get to pick their adult name because they go by a child name that's given to them by their parents before their 100th birthday or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be like a ceremonial thing. But if you don't know that, and you're just comparing the two entries, it does look a little fucked up. Anyways, it's wild. Justice for Aarakocra. I do think they... Justice for... Well, obviously, Justice for Astarion. But you can get Justice for Astarion. I don't know if anyone gives a shit about the Aarakocra but me. Because I'm a bird-obsessed weirdo. Oh, that's true. We could afford to have more Justice for Astarion. But yeah, that is sort of spoilers. And also, you could fill up several more games with Justice for Astarion.
Like Call of Duty.
Your favorite genre is Justice for Astarion games? Yeah. Honestly, fair.
No, I like
JFAs?
JFAs.
Justice for Astarion games.
JFA.
Yes.
Oh, wait.
Well.
Uh-oh. Ready, scratch. Let's rewind that. Don't do that. Don't do that one. That is a bad one. Do not.
Brittany, you're telling me you don't like JFAGs?
Babe.
Oh, Mikey's concerned. You made loud noises and now Mikey's concerned.
I'm sorry, Mikey.
Oh
I just
my
made a mistake. I made a boo-boo.
Well.
Replace the F with the number 4.
Oh, sure. Yep.
J for age.
And only the true fans can call it a JFAG.
I don't even think that's... I don't even think they should. I don't. It's a bad idea.
Oh my god. Please, are you kidding me? If a video game allowed you to like say a slur, the right would buy into it so quickly.
I know, that's the joke.
So quickly.
Something Abby Last of Us.
Oh god, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
J for age E.
Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. She don't care.
I'm a barbarian.
She just want to be wrinkly. She just want to be wrinkly.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Stop. Stop. Oh my god. What are you?
Are you crazy? Crazy Scrung? Crazy Scrungus. Goodness, my goodness. Huh?
Come here.
Oh, her blanket? Sure. One moment.
Swaddle the Scrungus.
He's always sitting like a man.
Goodness. My goodness, she's so cozy.
No problem. Ah, shit. This chair likes to get stuck on the hardwood floor sometime. It's only the most annoying thing. After he leaves, it's a little nebulous. But I think he gets picked up pretty quickly. I give him like 2 years on his own, max. Hmm. You ever think about how I'm not gonna say Ezra has the same attitude as his adoptive mother, but when faced with similar strifes, it is also a not my kid situation, but a take me instead situation.
No, I hadn't.
I thought of it. Because I always think of the things that's best suited to rip your heart out. It's what you keep me around for. Let's see. Ooh. We're in a little bit. Let's move the boy around a little bit. Where do we want to go? I like the fireplace. Oh, look at that man. He's also got his own little hot cocoa mug. Ooh. I crap. We could also perhaps do a little fireplace. Hell yeah. Beautiful. I don't always do the sound effect. Sometimes you gotta be in the mood for them. Where am I? There we go. Excuse me. My goodness. You can't expect her blanket to smell like ranch, Mama. Oh, you're so droopy. So droopy baby. My goodness. What would you call it? I just mentioned it's halfway through the ranks. We'll call it like 6 or 7. Because I imagine aces and twos, I think, are pretty expendable. 3, 2, 6 is still like in training, like novice level. And then that tracks, because then you got 6 to 10 for the people who like really know what you're doing. And then your face cards are your face cards, obviously. So 6 or 7 would work. I'm gonna write that down actually. 3 to 7, 3 to 6 for the trainees. Then 7 to 10 are who know what they're doing. I like that as a spread. It's more even than I thought it was going to be, honestly. I also love the idea that I can get Ezra so close to cult activity without actually being in contact with cult activity for like almost 3 decades. Before the cult is like, hey, hold on.
That's the kid.
That's the kid. That's the kid we're missing. He's no longer a kid. But that's that kid. Mikey. That's the kid. That's him. To be fair, by the time we surpass 2 decades, they probably wouldn't recognize him. Now that I've made him a trans man. Which I think is an interesting wrinkle. You know? Keeps him safe for a little while longer. God, I had an awful thought. As I always do. Or awful. If that's what he was in for, they wouldn't have let him go that quickly. No, I don't think so. So they got him at 6-ish. I certainly don't think he makes it to 10 before he becomes king. Kind of jump. I always thought it would be at the behest of the former king, probably supported by the loot, that he gets replaced as king, that he becomes king. They fight about it over a card game. One of the stupidest things that I think I've done to the suits is make the card game a reality. Did I tell you about that? Because it's all based on 5 crowns, right?
Right.
So I had this idea that when the face cards are meeting, all of the kings have to sit at a table, and while they are having this meeting, they have to be playing 5 crowns. Specifically to keep everybody's hands visible and on the table. So that
That's right. I do remember that.
Shit doesn't go sideways. It's a tactic to make sure there's no murder. I don't know what the... It's probably just for a king-specific meeting, then. If you... You can't play 5 crowns with 15 people. You wouldn't be able to get all the face cards in it. We could have 3 simultaneous games of 5 crowns going. One for the kings, one for the queens, and one for the jacks. Refereed by jokers in attendance. That would be just one of the stupidest things I think I could...
I feel like perhaps direct whoever's, and you know, like they're sort of sitting like up behind, and they're all like around the right. And I don't know.
Maybe. I feel like it's gotta be the kings playing though.
And so the kings are just they're watching talking about, well, like, you know, tap their jack in front of them and point from one card to another, like, no, don't play that.
That would be so funny.
Sorry about the lightsaber noise. Sorry about that noise too. Jesus.
It's okay.
Screaming or anything.
It would be hilarious if it was like a 3-deep telephone sort of situation where like the jacks are playing and the queens have to instruct the jacks and the kings have to instruct the queens.
Uh-huh.
That would be incredibly stupid. I always imagine it as the kings were playing and the queens were in attendance, and the queens had to keep score for their respective suit. Because I imagine everybody lies and cheats in this game.
Right. They're keeping score. They're an extra set of eyes, and they are like also, you know, fetching.
Yeah.
And
the jacks are probably fetching sandwiches.
Well, right.
And like drinks and stuff. I imagine one of the... I made it 5 crowns, but with an extra rule where if you concoct a hand, if you go out with cards of your suit, the suit that you're a part of, you get extra points. So everybody, like, it's a thing where, like, all of the kings in the history of, like, them having this game pretty much always, like, go for their suit. So their scores are naturally, like, actually pretty bad. And one of the, like, plot points is that Ezra doesn't specifically go for his suit. He goes for a little bit of everybody because he's the cooperative guy. Yeah. And he gets, like, the highest, well, technically, because it's crowns, it would be the lowest score. Yeah. Like, anyone's ever seen. And the better your score, the more, like, leverage you have in, like, getting shit done that you want done. You know what I mean? Yeah. As, like, a secondary feature of the card game. I think that would be fun. I think it would be a fun little, like, show of character to have all of those people in a room together without trying to murder each other. Only murdering each other with their eyes. Right. Okay. Boy is there hostility. Let's see. Excuse me, oh my goodness. That's right. I forgot I named all the jacks. I love that. I also forgot I gave clubs an automaton. Oh my god. Wild things happening. Someday I'm gonna have to create, like, a character for who the former King of Hearts was. Because that's, like, plot relevant. Spades kind of has him assassinated, I think. Which I'm sure surprises nobody. But I don't think that has happened before. And it honestly probably marks the downfall of the suits as a whole. Like, even pre Ezra losing his mind. The fact that Spades orchestrated and successfully put a hit on the former King of Hearts was probably not a great sign. They have too much power over there. Spades be up to some shit. All of them. All three of them. And their lackeys. I don't have much for that Jack yet, but boy, I'm sure he's gonna be an asshole. Just like the rest of them. Assholes like the rest of them.
I don't know what his story is gonna be, but I'm sure he's an asshole just like the rest of them.
God. That's a deep cut.
Our last name is unfortunately, this
That's crazy.
the 3 boys, plastic boys, were well known among.
Oh my god. Hooligans.
Redneck. Not. Honestly, it's like worse than hooligan. Like delinquent.
Delinquent? Sure.
Is almost too nice.
Sure.
Criminals, honestly.
Criminals? Criminals, I'll give you.
They were all criminals.
Yeah.
They were criminals. They were super. They were.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you the story about how when he was 17, my father got run over by a truck that his brother was driving?
Oh my god.
And he crawled home and tried to wake up his mother's and take him to the hospital, but she was hungover.
Oh my
and
god.
did not take him, and he slept overnight and almost suffocated on his blood.
You have not told me that story. That's insane.
Yeah. He broke his clavicle was broken.
Yeah.
And he had ribs.
Jesus.
And honestly, it was like a matter of hours before he went dead.
Yeah.
My grandma apparently walked in that morning like, why would you bother me yesterday, Mark? I'm gonna bother you bright and early. And then she like heard the noise that he was making as he was laying there breathing, breathing in quotes. And she
wheezing.
Was like, oh, fuck.
Yes. Immediately snapped to attention.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, they had all been drinking, as you do, you're a bunch of dicks.
Sure.
And he had passed out behind, or like leaning up against my uncle's truck, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when they left, my uncle and my other uncles and then like their girlfriends, he like reversed and did like not like a 3-point turn, but like he reversed and turned his wheels so that he could go,
yeah.
a certain way. Anyway, he hit something, but he was like, he thought it was whatever, and then he just drove home. But what he had hit. What had happened was he had hit my dad. He had run over his brother.
He just ran over his brother.
I believe my mom was there,
God.
and the whole time she was like, "Guys, where's Mark?"
Yeah.
And everybody was like,
I don't know.
Don't worry about it. You know how he gets when he's been drinking. He probably just walked home, blah, blah, blah.
Jesus.
But I don't know for a fact, so.
Potentially.
Anyway, sorry.
It's okay.
This has been Beefo Show Story Hour.
Beefo Show Story Hour. Diversions with Beefo.
Listen to this story, haha. Unloads trauma.
Unloads. To be fair, it's not like we haven't been talking about trauma.
That's true. That's true.
The audience doesn't know, but we know. We know there's trauma. There's trauma in them there hills.
Yeah. Reminds me of doing work association.
Mm-hmm.
Like awful things that have happened to Ezra. Hey, that reminds me of the time this awful thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Nope. You're good. I am going to need a character for the new King of Hearts, the old King of Hearts, but I do think Luke was the old Queen of Hearts. I think that stays.
Or was it like?
Potentially? But I don't know. Well, we could assassinate the old queen too, but...
In my brain, my memory was... I don't remember just my own... But I recall, previous King of Hearts was not great. And when Ezra started up and like he, saw how not great it was and kept all of that in mind, and that's why the Sanctuary became the Sanctuary when Ezra became the king.
I do think that's mostly how it is. I think as of now, the old King of Hearts wasn't necessarily not great, but was easily pushed over by the rest of the suits who treat the hearts not great, TM.
Right.
So maybe you're right. Maybe the old king gets assassinated and the rest of the face cards just quit.
Right.
Is that a thing you can do in a crime syndicate? You could just be like, actually. Well, yeah.
Legitimate.
Literally fake their own death and not metaphorically fake their own death.
Right.
Yeah. That might work. Because then we can give, well, also, here's the other thing.
Or like,
no.
Wait. It's like a whole coup, right?
Yeah.
And Maids managed to get the king assassinated ever.
Yeah.
And
because to get the king assassinated,
for failing to protect their king,
yes, they'd have to be in on
the
it.
Queen and Jack,
or they'd have to be oblivious.
Well, no. I think they're oblivious, but it becomes a thing of like Maids, and maybe if somebody else knows about this, they turn it into this whole thing of like, you failed to protect your king, we're stripping you of your power, get out of here, like, you're lucky that we're not killing you.
Yeah. I don't think anybody else
to clear the entire face.
Absolutely. I don't think anybody else would be in on it, but I do think if they were in a meeting and or like if they had all arrived to the scene of the crime, and Spade started throwing that accusation, everyone else would be like, yeah, absolutely, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I don't think it would take much.
Yeah. As a way to like, like sort of clear the board with one, he only has to actually kill one person, but he can still get rid of all of sympathetic.
3 birds with 1 stone.
Right.
Which begs another question, and this is just the way that my brain works. Do they vote on who becomes the next king? Because I'm assuming once you have a king in place, they will choose their Queen and Jack.
Right.
But how do we get another king in place? Do the hearts elect him?
My brain is an incredibly fucked up, like, they have an incredibly fucked up party.
Sure.
And whoever is the best at the party is the new king.
Because it's hearts.
Right.
That could potentially work. It's not out of the question,
right.
Certainly.
There's more in my brain. There's more like, it's more in this than that. But one, I can't say it on Twitch.
Well, yeah.
Two,
we don't have to subject the Twitch chat to all of it.
Right.
But I was also thinking more broadly of like the whole institution. Like how do you go about if a king dies, when a deal goes wrong, if somebody gets offed in transport, if you get eaten by a fucking sea monster. Like,
right.
Ooh, is there a last will and testament? Do you prehumously, before your death,
Yeah.
do you have just like a contract, a document that is like magically signed and sealed that says who you want your next king to be?
I think that
that feels very
the
fantasy.
rules for succession are probably simple. The rank of the, you know what I mean? And so, for that reason, not prior.
Right. That, I guess that would make sense.
But perhaps he was the 10th.
Yeah.
And then he moved up to, which knocked a bunch of, let's say Ezra moved up.
Yeah.
You know.
I certainly don't think Ezra made 10 before they assassinated the former king.
Right. But yeah, I think yeah, goes up.
Yeah.
A 10.
There's more than one.
Perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
A 10. Yeah. So on and so forth. So it was a huge deal to happen
because you have so many spots to fill.
There's
and also Ezra jumped several places.
Yeah. It could also be that Ezra's and Jack both running.
Yeah.
And so like
that has a high likelihood.
And name Peter Jack. Based
mm-hmm.
And perhaps when I don't know about the politics, but the idea that like they go to a for the men
sure
this and that, so we're like okay great thanks, and then like you know the next day or later that day or something like that when they decide to like reveal the new face card report to the rest of the cards.
Mm-hmm.
And Luke is like expecting the guy who is the Jack to be promoted. You know what I mean? Like, so
yeah.
Luke shows up, he knows he's queen.
Yeah.
Right? The other guy shows up and is a little bit confused but knows that he's Jack.
Yeah.
Right? Because he thinks Luke is gonna be.
Jack's can't. You haven't met them yet because
okay.
they've only recently been named. But I remember I was just scrolling the list and the Jack is Candy.
So yeah, Candy. So Candy hears you're gonna be the Jack, and he says, "Oh, okay. I don't know why I could be queen, but you know, whatever."
Yeah. Then Luke's trying to do the math of like, what? Who?
Meanwhile,
who else?
Luke is like, "Oh, okay. So Candy is the king, and I'm the queen. That makes sense. I wonder who the Jack is gonna be, but that's the thing." But then when the this reveal starts. And they start with...
They both have a Spider-Man meme moment. It's like,
yeah.
I thought you were the king.
Yeah.
I thought you were the king.
Yeah. They're both sitting there and they're a little confused, but because there's no third person.
Yeah.
Right? To be the Jack or to be the queen or whatever.
Yeah.
And so Candy's like, you know, they're like, your new Jack is gonna be Candy. And, you know, Candy's like, but Luke is like, huh? And they go, your new queen is gonna be Luke. And
Candy goes,
and Candy goes, huh?
Huh?
And then your new king is gonna be Ezra. Everybody goes,
huh?
What the fuck?
This twink?
Sorry, I don't.
No, please. This is, you know, that's what the stream is for. But that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I love all of that. How do we put Ezra in the king spot? Is like the politics of the situation that I'm trying to figure out.
I think Spades thought he could control Ezra.
Yes, obviously.
Like him. liked what he was getting.
Mm-hmm.
And had been wanting to replace the King of Hearts anyway, because he wasn't happy with, for whatever reason that he has, for whatever political reason. And so he's finally like, oh, sick! I finally got the person that I want to be king, who I can control, and therefore I will be the actual both Spades and Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put this back place.
Yes.
And so when he sort of has the thought that's
yes. But if Ezra's only an 8, how do we get from point A to point B?
Like I said,
Spades just says that's how it's gonna be?
Yeah.
You think that goes over well?
Well, I think probably there's a fight about it and stuff like that, but I think when they're he goes to everybody, they go to everybody, and everybody's like, okay, what are we gonna do? Which one of Candy Booth, which one would be the king?
Mm-hmm.
And Spades is like, actually,
what if?
Actually,
because maybe that's part of the ploy. If we get Ezra in everybody's good graces, because obviously the boy can do almost no wrong. If we get Ezra in everybody's good graces and this incident happens, seeing as it's likely a potentially not the first time this has happened, but like a very rare occurrence to like wipe so quickly the entirety of the face cards. Everybody's trying to figure out who to replace with what. And then Spades pushes it.
You know how like historically things have like grit, right?
Yeah.
And that's like preferred interest, whatever. They have
sure.
Mistresses, but there's like the one that's got the
yeah.
hat. Or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So all of the most / all of the other suits have their own favorite, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spade's new favorite is Ezra. And maybe there's like some, whatever the other suits and the other hearts think about the fact that his favorite doesn't really bother me. But when this whole thing comes up and they're like, okay, well, Luke's king and what's his face be queen, and I think that my favorite, who is a 9, should be the Jack, and like that's what, let's say, Diamond.
Yeah.
And everybody sort of puts forth their own favorite.
Sure.
As like who to replace as Heart. But Spades is like, actually.
What if?
You guys remember this guy that I've had around and who has been
You guys remember God's favorite twink, right?
Yeah. He's because isn't canonically he like helps the others out their stuff too.
He does. That is kind of just like the role of Hearts.
Right.
Is that they're kind of helping everybody with everything. But Ezra...
Right, but he like impresses the other face part.
Ezra very much has the needs everybody to like me all the time so much gene.
Uh-huh.
So he's you could say goes above and beyond. Or below and beyond, as it were.
All right. I wonder if there's something else where like they're all gonna vote on who, and it's not just a matter of like obvious, like Spades wants his favorite to be Spades, and Diamonds recognizes that this little 8 of hearts has actually been super helpful with X, Y, and Z that he's been lent out to do lately, and so he actually doesn't mind that idea because it's not. And then, like, I don't know, maybe Spades has some sort of like leverage on Stars and is like, listen, I'm gonna propose this and you're gonna vote yeah.
You're gonna go with me. You're gonna go with me on this.
You're voting yeah, and when Stars
the leverage on Stars is just the Queen of Spades looking over the King's shoulder.
I was gonna say Suture could
into
somehow...
this poor man's soul.
Right. And yeah.
Between the three of them, I think those stairs could probably kill somebody.
Yeah.
If you had concentrated, oh, I wouldn't want to be on the end of that. I wouldn't want to be on the end of that. Absolutely not. But yeah, so if they put it to a vote, we could swing that.
Yeah. I think it's a. They have like a.
Yeah. They're just 3 of the slimiest rats I've ever made.
Huh? True. I should say
it. Big energy from the from the you can want to fuck them but don't endorse their actions club. Goodness. So former. My gosh, this song is so spooky and silly, and I love that. Started with the fucking wobbly ghost noise. I love that. That had to have been a wild vote. In theory, if you had to vote for a new face set with the members that we have now, it would be an even, you could have an even tie. That would be so rough. It's a good thing. Yeah. Oh, all of them. Yeah. I forget what the Jack's name is. I did just look at it, but I'm gonna look at it again. He's got one of those long names. Yes. Svelange. They call him Leon.
Less.
Yes, exactly. Sveleonge. Leon for short. Me too. We'll probably also just normally call him Jack. Or Jack of Spades. It will become more confusing as we refer to more than just two of these suits at a time. But it's fine.
I'm sure they all have like their own little like name.
Yeah.
I mean, like, of course.
Pretty much nobody, I will say, pretty much nobody uses like each other's actual names except for like Heart's post Ezra takeover is like the only time that anybody's comfortable giving out their actual information.
Yeah.
So Ezra knows all of these names. But for the most part, they probably don't know each other's names.
Yeah.
They've certainly got fun little nicknames for each other.
Yeah, for example, the doctor. Dr. Queen.
Dr. Queen?
Like they call him Dr. Queen.
Yeah, like Dr. last name Queen.
Yes.
That's fun.
Like Dr.
Jailbird. I think the first time anyone calls him Jailbird, because he owns a prison.
Oh, okay.
By the end of all of this, he owns and runs and maintains a prison.
Okay.
And I think if anybody called him Jailbird, he would intern them indefinitely.
Back of either clubs or could be called Blackjack.
Blackjack would be good. I did realize in this timeline with Transmask Ezra, we can't necessarily have the actual Blackjack that we had, that we wrote the story about already. King of Clubs kid.
Oh, is that what?
Was that Blackjack? I thought so. It's okay.
That storyline did a little bit of trauma, but
Did it? I'm so sorry.
no, I loved it.
Yeah.
And so
Oh no. Blackjack. Oh, it would definitely be Spades. The Jack of Spades.
yeah.
Because the Jack of Clubs is a robot.
Ah.
So I don't think
When he's written about, the Jack of Clubs is written J4 CK.
yes, probably.
But I don't know, Jackpot.
Jackpot.
Trying to think of what other like funny. One of them's called Jackass.
Yeah. Probably Stars.
Yeah.
Or if you want to be silly about it,
Oh.
Hearts. Hearts can have the Jack's ass.
But it's really it's not because they're a jerk at all. It's because they're an avatar.
That would be very good. It's so good
It
though.
also wouldn't.
We don't technically have ASMR in this setting, yeah. I will say though, now we've got a Drake form, we've got the robot, we've got Primordian, Wildling, and the slime person. So yeah, Wildling would probably be the closest to an ASMR of that group. But that's more Fae than Celestial.
The automaton. Oh.
Jackass. Yes. Yes. Perfect. Ooh, we're almost leveled up in Spirit City. Got a lot of spirit credits. Goodness. Good God.
Who you have? Who is?
Ooh, I don't think so. Queen Bee would be so good. Of the queens, we've got Human, Primordian, Bird, second Primordian. We've got a lot of Primordians in this group, actually. So I think they're fun. We do have the Queen of... No. That's not B. Well, sort of. Queen of Clubs is a Nancia Primordian, which are Toxa Elemental. So, probably has the sting of a bee. But we don't have any Insectoid. Alright, where are we moving to? Want... Yes. Oh, so near. I like the angle of the gaming setup, I think. Love the little Poyos. They're adorable. Look at them. My lad. Excuse me. We've got the vote. How old did I make Ezra?
Oh, that has fluctuated.
It has fluctuated. How old do you think Ezra is? Upon first meet with Bramble.
I
have a number in my notes.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Although it.
Yes. Yeah, I think he's probably older than that. If we want...
That works for me. As an old, love an old protagonist. Love a protagonist who not.
I have him in my notes as 32.
I love that.
Yeah. And I think that works if he's ruled for as long as I think he did as King of Hearts. And if you want to make it not weird, the things that he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
to himself and others.
Yeah.
Because I think...
Obviously there's some... You know.
Yeah.
There's some trauma.
Sure.
But
most
get by
most of it...
Yeah.
Is like... Well, I don't want to say above board. It's on the board.
Yeah.
Goodness. Art Sanctuary. Probably at least has to let Luke know, right? As an old... So silly. It's a mood, though. As someone who is also, like, not a high schooler anymore, love reading about protagonists that are not high schoolers. Level 33! Nice! We did it. Huzzah. Goodness. That was weird. Some behind the scenes work here. Ooh, actually I do want to move that. Hold on. How about now? Yeah, we'll keep it there. Okay. Fiddling around with my settings. I'm always I don't know if it's the perfectionist in me, but every time I like go to stream, my brain's like, you have to fix it. You have to make it perfect. You gotta fix the audio levels, and you gotta make sure the volume's excellent. And I just, I can't do it. I can't do it. So most of the time, I don't even like open OBS until like 10 minutes before stream. Because if I let it sit for too long, the bees in my brain will make me fuck with things, and then I won't be ready for stream. Which would be the true tragedy. The tragedy, if you will. And I will not. What do we want to play tomorrow? I'm just thinking out loud at this point. I honestly haven't even considered. There's so much. There's so many games. I have so many games that we could play, but only a few games that I would want to play. Maybe I'll make another poll. It went so well last time. This is such funny music to have over this like Puyo Puyo gameplay. It makes it seem so much more serious. Maybe we'll browse a little bit. Take a little break. Do I want another one-off? Kind of. But we could start like a series game. I don't know what I would want to play. There's a handful of games that I think it would be fun to stream, like in their entirety. But due to the way that I stream in like these small chunks, because I can't, I used to be a person who tried to stream just like till I dropped. I can't do that so much anymore. I probably could if I started earlier, but boy, by the end of this 3 hours, I'm eepy, man. I'm big eepy. So there's a handful of games that I would play like a full playthrough for on stream. I'm not necessarily opposed to that, but a lot of them are of indeterminate length. Like when I did the full stream of Deltarune Part 1 and 2, I kind of knew those were gonna be like, what did that end up being, like 5 or 6 streams, maybe 4 streams, I think. And we didn't go through all of the content that Deltarune had to offer, but it was like a smaller indie game. Some of the games that I have on my list that I want to complete are like RPGs, you know what I mean? And I don't know if I want to subject the stream to that, unless it's requested, obviously. If somebody comes in, there's already been, and I'll bring this up here so you can have it on video, because there's several people in my life who want me to stream Baldur's Gate 3. And I have officially promised them, I have solemnly sworn, that I will stream Baldur's Gate 3 once I get to partner on Twitch. As long as my computer doesn't explode while I'm trying to do it. And I'll do it once we get there. But we're not there yet. But that's again another hundreds of hours of RPG that we have to take in 3-hour chunks.
I have not.
No, I wasn't. I was just talking out loud. I was telling the stream, you've officially got it on video now, that I have promised that I will stream a Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough when I hit partner.
Hey.
No, I said partner.
What?
And that was Kate's exact reaction too.
Rude.
But I said partner.
Fucking I'll stream Baldur's Gate.
Go for it.
I won't, but you know.
But you could. Goodness, bless you. It's okay. Are you okay?
My body.
'Tis the season for yeeting.
Huh?
'Tis the season for yeeting. I was trying to figure out what I was going to stream tomorrow. That's what this, bless you, this conversation like started on.
You don't want to stream Baldur's Gate 3?
Am I going to be a Twitch partner tomorrow?
I don't know, babe. Are you?
No.
Don't let your dreams be memes.
I'm not even affiliate yet, babe. Hey, there's a couple of reasons. Mostly because I think by the point that I hit partner, I might potentially have like a better setup to stream Baldur's Gate 3, because I'm not completely convinced that it won't blow up my computer. You've heard the fans on this computer when I try to run Baldur's Gate 3. I know you as the audience haven't heard, but let me tell you, it's like an airplane takeoff in here the whole time. And I'm pretty sure that if I tried to run Baldur's Gate 3 and stream from OBS at the same time, that it might explode my computer. So, I mostly put it at partner so that I could potentially level some things out technologically by then. I also put it at partner because I am somewhat close to hitting affiliate. Now, I've been somewhat close to hitting affiliate for about a year and a half, so there's really no telling when that's actually going to happen. But at least a year and a half. God, when did I start this crazy shit? I've been doing it off and on for a while. So I didn't want to make that promise and then hit affiliate like this week and like not be able to do it, you know? And then tertiarily is I'm scared.
Oh. Don't be scared, you're great.
Because as you know, but the audience doesn't know, I not only have never beaten Baldur's Gate 3, I haven't gotten through Act 1 of Baldur's Gate 3. I haven't gotten through half of Act 1 of Baldur's Gate 3.
That's why it'll be so fucking great to play it.
And potentially, yes. But I also need time to brace myself. To forcibly make bad decisions. And be yelled at by the internet for making bad decisions.
I won't let
You have mod status. You could probably ban them.
No. No one fucks with my baby.
Yes. Perfect.
Oh,
Isn't he adorable? I love him so much. There's a couple other variations. There's like an onion head one, I think, that are very cute. We can actually take a look at that real quick. Because I kept wanting to show you the little guys. Yeah, there's a carrot guy and there's an onion guy.
Aww.
Onion and everything. And then you can have him be like tomato. Yeah, it's like a leek or like a radish, maybe. There's carrot, leek, regular onion, red onion, and then like green tomato, regular tomato, and WIP.
In Game of Thrones, there's a character who is known as Moon Knight, because
Excellent.
was knighted after he struggled to a carving castle.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, there was a castle that was being
Like blockaded?
yes.
Yeah.
And he was a smuggler, and I think he was just smuggling stuff in general.
Mm-hmm.
But then he ended up like going to the castle with the onions and literally saved like everybody in the castle's life
Wild.
from starving to death. They had already eaten all the rats in the castle apparently.
Of course.
So, and then he was knighted afterwards. So, okay, here's what's fucked up. Right?
Yeah.
This is Sir Davos Seaworthy, right?
Okay.
So, Davos was a smuggler,
Mm-hmm.
and he smuggled some onions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stannis Baratheon was the guy who was in the besieged castle.
Sure.
His brother was the head of a rebellion at the time. That's why there was a war, etc., etc.
Yeah. Yep.
When the war ended, Stannis Baratheon, who is the most rigid, moral, jerk motherfucker,
Sure.
sentenced Davos to have his fingers cut off for all of the stealing that he did.
Sure.
But then
Then he got knighted.
he knighted him
Yeah.
for saving their lives.
Post finger cutting off?
Post finger cutting off.
That's fucked up.
And what's even more fucked up, Davos keeps those fingers in a little pouch around his neck.
I hate that.
It's not touched on in the show, which is a shame.
You can't be keeping the fingies.
He's just got some withered little fingies in the pouch around his neck.
No. you can't have a fingy pouch.
Withers little mandibles.
No. No, thank you. When I hear Onion Knight, I think of there's a character in I'm gonna fuck this up. One of the Dark Souls games that's referred to as an Onion Knight. And that's because his armor looks like an onion. Suleiman wearing an onion hat. Yes! It was Dark Souls 3? I don't remember. I haven't played any of these games. None of you Soulsborne motherfuckers can come for me. Oh, goodness. Brittany, what other than Baldur's Gate 3 should I play tomorrow?
No options? Or...
I mean, I got like 600 options in the Steam library.
I mean, I love watching Stardew, personally.
Sure. I do love a Stardew. I was battling with
Repo.
myself. I love Repo. Repo's hard single player though.
That one that I was telling you about, that I was watching play where it's like repo, but you have to take pictures of the stuff. You have it.
Content warning?
Got it?
No. Headliners?
Yeah.
Headliners.
Yeah.
I do not own headliners.
True.
but I hear it's good. I was arguing with myself on whether I should do like another roguelike sort of like one-off kind of game, or if I should start like a longer game. And that's when Baldur's Gate 3 came out. Because I was like, I have a lot of games, you know, in my backlog that I want to play. But due to the nature of how I stream in these like 3-hour chunks, some of these games would take a long time to get through.
Yeah, but that's the fun of it.
I know. That's true. As a person who lives for the long plays, I know. For real? That's awesome.
Hasn't even completed a story.
Jesus. I could totally do like a silly, like modded single player repo stream, but I would definitely get murdered. It's so easy to get murdered so quick in that game.
Play Spanky.
I could play Spanky. I could play Spanky. Open lobby Spanky?
Open lobby.
Bro. Anytime I hear that, it just reminds me of Webkins. There was a little Chihuahua character named Spanky Gazpacho in Webkins.
Really?
I think so.
Okay, sorry. You know the Mango Cult?
Yeah. Spanky.
The whole thing was the guy who was making all of the crazy, like, comments about Mango was named Spanky Gazpacho.
I'm pretty sure. God, now is when I learn I don't know how to spell gazpacho.
Gazpacho.
Am I remembering incorrectly? Chef Gazpacho.
Oh, your brain pulled the bit. I'm positive.
Probably.
I have Travis McElroy's voice in my head going, and Spanky Gazpacho understands the cool nature of the gazpacho.
Here's the thing. Chef Gazpacho is a character. I'm pretty sure Spanky is also a character? No. I am just wrong on that. It is Chef Gazpacho though. He's a little pig and he has like a TV show. The Secret Chef TV show.
Is anybody there anyone who is sorry.
You'll get there. You'll get
Chowder.
there.
Chowder character named Gazpacho.
Chowder Gazpacho, yes.
Does anybody refer to him as Spanky?
Oh, I don't think so. No. He's just Gazpacho. He's a big old mammoth.
No.
Chowder was a wild show. There was a lot of shows from that era that I remember as fever dreams sometimes. Yep. Flapjack's definitely up there. Flapjack's top of the list. Chowder, Flapjack. My gym partner's a monkey.
Oh? I don't
Fish Friends? Was that the weird Disney XD one? There's a sound from it that goes around on TikTok sometimes. Oh no, that's not what it's called. Fish Hooks! That's what the show's called. That's Fish Hooks. You haven't heard of My Gym Partner's a Monkey?
No.
Yeah, man. That was also on Disney, I think.
Wow.
Uh-huh. This kid, so the main onus of my gym partner as a monkey is the human kid. His name, I believe, is Adam Lion. Like, his last name is Lion. So he gets transferred to a school full of animals.
Oh.
Is like the thing, because the system thinks he's an animal. It was a very silly show. God. Love to watch. I would love to, like, I love having shows like that on, like, physical media or, like, available to me. Like, if you could, like, stream seasons of it somewhere. I'm sure they're all streaming somewhere. But I do miss, like, the structure of cable TV sometimes. Of being able to, like, have an episode of this, and then an episode of that, and then an episode of this, and then an episode of, you know? Sometimes you want to be able to put it on shuffle, and I haven't seen a streaming service yet that'll do that for me. I'll have to burn my own DVDs, damn it. Oh my gosh. Well, we squeezed a little bit of productivity out of this stream. I mostly just got to yell about Ezra for 2.5 hours, so yeah, I consider that productive. I'll yell about Ezra all day, every day. Did not figure out what we're playing tomorrow, though. Not that I have to figure it out now, but I sometimes like having a plan. Sometimes. I should at some point do a full, I would love to stream a full playthrough of the Loathing games. West of Loathing and Shadows over Loathing. Because I think they're fun and silly. My goodness. I think tomorrow we'll probably do another one-off. Like a Slay the Spire or a... maybe even some more Balatro. I don't know. People seemed to like Balatro last time. Nobody voted for Ring of Pain. I feel so bad for Ring of Pain. It's such a good game. It's only a little fucked up. To be fair, most of those roguelikes are at least a little fucked up. Looking at The Binding of Isaac. All these spooky vibes is also making me want to look at that Crooked Moon RPG again. It was so spooky. Like fun spooky. And less horrific, like the shit we've been talking about. I don't know, I'm really jealous of like settings and supplements like a Crooked Moon that have It's got such a strong sense of self, you know? It came with a whole, like, prelude about, like, what is folk horror, because that's, like, the whole book. And I'm over here with my, like, scraps of genres falling out of my pockets, like, don't look at me. Don't ask me what it is. Love psychoanalyzing myself on stream. Do you think it's a people-pleasing thing? That I don't want it to be just one thing, because then some people will not like that thing? Probably. That sounds right. Sometimes I have the thought and it comes out of my mouth and it's like...
be liked by everybody all the time?
Yeah! Everybody all the time.
Oh, your eyelids.
She did sleep about it? My goodness.
I was trying to figure out how to... And so I turned the... When I did, an ant appeared on the desk. So I don't know if it was in when I turned it, it like fell.
Oh, that would suck.
I don't know. But I figured out.
Okay.
And the...
Probably. They're just kind of everywhere. We get carpenter ants in the spring. It's annoying as hell. My goodness, Mikey.
Oh. Okay.
That's not how that's supposed to be. Uh-oh. I might need to assist you with that at some point. We'll see if it fixes itself. Good. Good golly gosh. I might honestly end a little early. That sounds okay to me. Oh yeah. That computer's having a bit of a conniption at the moment. Oh, but what if it was for Scrungus?
No.
Alright.
Sorry.
It's okay. I do think we're probably gonna hump off a bit early. Because I've run out of steam on the Ezra front at the moment. Well, goodness. Run out of steam for stuff that could be discussed on Twitch, let's say. So thank you guys for hanging out. It was another successful WIP Wednesday, even though I had to strangle the success out of it. But every little bit counts, you know? Make sure you come back tomorrow, same time, same place, to see what we're gonna play. Might be more Balatro. We just gotta figure out Thursday, because then Friday is gonna be Happy Chower, obviously. We can see the beans again. That's always an easy stream. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later.